everyone. Today's video isn't going to be quite like I had planned. This was originally going to be an unboxing video. I had several items ordered and I was excited because I was going to be like, oh yeah, look at this, look at this. Apparently the shipping companies had a different plan for me. I'll start at the beginning. On May 27th, Coach had their big drop, an enormous drop, and I ordered 2 items from that. They were shipped quickly. They were coming from Las Vegas. They made it all the way to Ohio and they got stuck. I don't know what was going on. They bounced around between 3 different warehouses over the course of a week. That in itself made me nervous because we all know they're shipping, it seems like everything in these awful asbestos packages, which I don't understand. Can they not afford a box? Now, they aren't even giving you free shipping if you're one of their insiders members like they used to. You have to reach a certain threshold in order to get the free shipping. What the heck, Coach? Anyhow, in the meantime, I'd also placed an order with Dooney and Burke. Off of the I Love Dooney website, they had some really good deals, and this one bag really caught my eye and I decided to order it. It was coming all the way from California. It was actually almost going to beat the package from Las Vegas from Coach to my house. The day before both of those packages were supposed to arrive, I had been talking with a Coach sales associate at the Pittsburgh store at Ross Park Mall about something, and she was shipping it to me, and I knew I would have it in a couple days, but when I checked the shipping information, it was to be delivered the next day. So all 3 packages, all ordered at different times, were all going to arrive on the same day, or so I thought. Saturday morning, I woke up and checked the tracking information, and it showed that all 3 packages were out for delivery. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll have all these packages. I can do a box or an opening video and share with you all the things I got. So right around lunchtime, package number 1 showed up. One of the packages from Coach. Now, ordinarily that wouldn't be a problem, except they were both from FedEx and they were supposed to be on the same truck. I just shook my head. I was like, where's my other package? You know, these companies are all complaining about losing money because of the increased price in gas and all this other stuff, and yet I can't get 2 packages on the same day that are supposed to be on the same truck. This didn't make any sense to me, but who knows, you know? I just thought, well, I'll wait it out and see what happens. A couple hours went by, still no package from Coach. But in the meantime, my package from Dooney and Burke showed up. Now that package was coming UPS. It got as far as the depot near where we live, and then it was transferred over to the US Postal Service. I was not prepared for when I went outside and saw the state of the box, and I'm going to insert a picture right at this point. Yeah, doesn't that look lovely? At that point I was thinking, is my bag even still in there? And I was really glad I hadn't ordered any small leather goods or anything like that, because I can tell you right now, they would have fallen out. The whole one side of the box was improperly taped. And I don't understand why this is such a problem with warehouses, why they don't get better people or train them better on how to tape these boxes shut. I know not too long ago, Chris from Mad Hatter Bags also had an issue with a box that, my gosh, talk about a disaster. When he went to pick it up, his bag literally came flying out of the box and slid across his cement front porch. That's real good for leather, right? Thank heavens it was not damaged. The bag protected it enough. But if you buy anything from Dooney or I Love Dooney, you know there is like no packaging hardly in the box. They count on that plastic bag around it and the packaging that's in the purse or whatever it is that you've purchased to protect it. I'm sorry, that's not enough. And now they're charging for shipping too. They also used to have a threshold where if you spent that much money, I think it was $150 if I remember correctly, that you got free shipping. Nope, gone. Everything's flat rate shipping. And then you pay for this and you get a box that's open. I think Jamie over at James Jam also had an issue not that long ago with a similar situation where her box was not taped properly on the bottom. Unfortunately, in her case, the package made it okay. So, caught my breath from that after I opened it up. Bag was okay, thank heavens, nothing was missing. Still no package from Coach. And this package didn't have to go all that far. I couldn't figure out what was going on, so I got into their chat. Well, trying to talk to anybody, I ended up actually having to call because the chat was worthless. The person couldn't help me. She couldn't tell me anything about why my package hadn't been delivered. And by this point, on the FedEx website, it was showing an exception. Exception? Why? It had actually gone back to our depot, which is very frustrating because our depot is literally only 2 miles from our house. Something I have noticed, prior to this depot opening, we had wonderful service. I used to be a member of the Portland Leather Goods Insiders group on Facebook, and there were constantly people complaining about how they got such horrible service from FedEx, and I honestly was kind of shocked because I had never experienced that. We had the best FedEx guy. He was awesome. He made a lot of trips to our house because, especially the year that I had my knee surgery, I wasn't able to go out shopping and I had just about everything I could shipped, and a lot of it came FedEx. He loved our dog. He would wait for her. She'd be looking out the window when he'd come. And of course, she thinks she's a guard dog, so she'd bark at him. And he'd always make a big fuss out of her. And one of my favorite moments, I wish I could have this on video. It was a Saturday. She was looking out the window. And I just happened to look out in time to see the FedEx truck very slowly going past our house. And he stopped and waved at the dog. I mean, that's the kind of people you want doing these kind of jobs. When I had my great big area rug for my living room delivered, it weighed a ton. I knew there was no way I could get it in by myself. And I just happened to be around when he came and caught him. And I said, would you mind bringing that in the house? And, sure, no problem. He brought it in. Well, when they started building this new depot, I was a little concerned. And at one point, I actually asked him, I'm like, are we going to lose you as our delivery guy? And he said, no. He says, they tell me I'm still going to have my same route and everything. Well, depot was hardly open. They were in the process of shifting the routes from the previous depot to the local depot, and we never saw him again. And now we never know who the delivery person is. From day to day, it can change. It's just very inconsistent. And we've had so much trouble with packages sitting on the truck all day. You know, you're waiting for it to show up, and next thing you know, it's headed back to the depot. It's never been delivered. I really don't understand. Also had issues with things being delivered to the wrong house, which frustrates me to no end. Not only do we have to try and go track it down, because I'll get a picture, and it's like, well, that's not my house. But I have these great big numbers. My husband has health issues that I want to make sure that emergency services can identify our house very well. And so I have great big numbers put on the front of our house. So how they're delivering this stuff to the wrong place, I don't know. They're just not paying attention. Went round and round and round all weekend over this package from Coach.
No, I was looking at my chart and it said that I was difficult.
It never showed up. Monday, I was thinking, well, maybe it'll come today. We didn't have delivery on Sunday, even though technically they're supposed to deliver on Sundays in our area. They don't. And Monday, it still had an exception. No explanation. So I contacted FedEx again. Still no answers. Oh, it might have been on the wrong route. Okay, then just stick it on the right route and get it here the next day. It finally arrived on Tuesday. Remember, I was originally supposed to get this on Saturday. I got it on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. No explanation, no apology from anyone at FedEx. I've heard nothing as to what the problem was, even though I filed multiple tickets. It says right on it, oh, we'll be in touch with you. My impression of FedEx is not very good today. I'll just put it that way. I have to say props to the U.S. Postal Service, who intercepted the Dooney and Burke box from UPS and felt that it needed to be taped up a bit, even though it was only going one more stop. Like I said, how it got the whole way across the United States that way is beyond me. But here we are. I finally got my stuff, and now we're going to do an opening. So first off, we've got an infamous Coach asbestos bag. Fortunately, the items I bought were not something that was going to be an issue unless they completely came out of the thing. The only thing I could see was like right here where the tab was that you pull over. It actually had a hole right there, so I have a feeling the tab did get caught on something in the process of its tour of the great state of Ohio. But everything seemed to be okay. What did I get? Well, this first item, I'll be honest, I'm kind of disappointed in. And I think I'm seriously considering taking it back. I'm mulling it over at this point. But I bought the Ashton wristlet in the blue. I haven't taken anything off of it since I was contemplating taking it back. And you're probably saying, well, why are you taking it back? I can't get my phone in it. And I went in and I read reviews, and that was another complaint somebody had. And I don't even have that big of a phone. The problem is the measurements look good online as far as the width. However, it's the way it's finished on the top that presents the problem. It's just a straight zipper. It's not like a corner zip like some of their other things. I think this would have been a really good time for them to have used the corner zip. It won't fit in the pocket. I tried that already. But you've got too much stuff in the way here. So by that point, you've reduced your opening. I tried even putting it in sideways, and it's a wrestling match, and I don't wrestle well. So I'm seriously considering sending it back. I'm still mulling it over, like I said. Give it a couple days. The other item, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep. When I watched a video that Dre over at Dre Loves Bags had done, she brought up a very good point about this pink denim. I got the pink denim double zip wristlet. You know, my favorite SLG. Had to have it. And I really like this one a lot better than the one that had come out in the powder pink, because I like them when they have the leather back, and it was the monogram coated canvas on both sections, where this one is denim in the front, leather in the back. My concern is how fast is this going to get dirty? I have seen on some comment sections for people who have done openings of these packages about spraying this with something. Somebody said they sprayed it with Apple Guard. I don't know how well Apple Guard works on fabric, but I do have some silicone spray that I'm kind of considering. Maybe I'll cover up the leather real well so it doesn't get coated. The other alternative, and probably what I would do anyhow, is I would only carry it in bags that were light colored on the interior, and chances are I'm going to be carrying light colored SLGs in it anyhow. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I do really like it. I think it's a really pretty color. What was cool on Dre's video, where she I think it was her. No, it was Denitra that got this. She showed the color difference between the denim pink and the powder pink. And this is significantly darker. It's a much more intense pink. And I like it. I need to hold it up again. So I have a bag that's in bubble gum that's by Coach. I need to see how it compares to that. But like I said, jury's still out. Haven't decided if I'm keeping it. I'll let you know. So, go on to the Dooney and Burke purchase. Dooney was running a really, really good sale on all of their printed canvas pieces, the coated canvas. And this was a bag I had looked at a couple of times and hadn't really jumped on, and I'm so glad I didn't, because it was originally, I think, $328 was the original price. I about fell over when I saw that they were selling it for $89. Yes, you heard that right. $89 for a Dooney and Burke tote bag, no less. So here she is. I'm hoping I can, yeah, there we go. This is the Leisure Tote, and the print is the Greta print, and this is turquoise. This is different than my other bag that I have that is in seafoam. This is a much more intense blue, and that really just caught my eye. They also had it in the fuchsia pink, if you're into the fuchsia color, in the Greta print, and it was also $89, and I think that price is still standing. They had another color. Well, I'm thinking it was coral, but it was more expensive. It was around $148. But this is a really nice tote. And I stuck my sunflower on there from my last video where I showed some stuff I got. The straps are nice and long. Of course, there's dog hair stuck on it. Wouldn't be my house if it didn't have dog hair stuck on it. Anyhow, my only concern is where these handles come in. They are very, kind of have to maneuver them a little bit right now. I'm hoping as time goes on and it's used, that'll get easier to do. But it also has a zip top, which I was really happy about. And it's got the standard pockets on the inside. We've got, let's see, on this side we have a zip pocket. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see. I can't get it open wide enough and into the camera. And a slot pocket. And then, or slip pocket, I guess. And then on this side you have a divided pocket, one side smaller than the other, you know, for your phone. And I like that for a phone, and sanitizer, pens, reading glasses. It's a great way to keep organized. That's the only pockets on it. And of course it has the key leash, which is one of my favorite things about a Dooney and Burke bag. So this reminds me a lot in size. I have a pebble grain leather tote that has, I wish, the only thing this doesn't have that I wish it had would be a crossbody strap. And I'm actually looking at putting D-rings on it because there's enough of an opening here. I got to play around with it and see. But that way if you maybe needed to carry it crossbody, you could. These have what look to be straps that could be taken off. I'm not sure. Anybody out there that has a Leisure, have you tried taking those off? Of course, it has the feet on the bottom, which is very nice. The coated canvas, it wears like iron. Many of you have seen the picture of my barrel bag that has the pink geraniums all over it. That bag is beat to death. I have carried that so much, and it doesn't show anywhere on the outside. The leather shows a little bit of wear, but the coated canvas is really held up. So that's why I was like very excited to get this at such a great price. So get back here again one time. And then oops, the straps are a nice length too. I don't know if I can show you well enough, but there's a nice drop, and I'm a larger person up top, so I need a lot of strap drop, and perfectly fine. So the last package, the Coach missing package thanks to FedEx. So got two little things. What do you think they are? I can't believe I had to go to so much trouble just to get these. First off, I had sent an email to the Coach retail store at the Ross Park Mall wanting to know what I had to do to go about getting one of these, because I did know that they had purchase restrictions, like you could only buy these if you had purchased something within a certain period of time from, I don't know if outlet purchases count for that or not. I don't think they do. But the problem I had was I bought a Coach Willis bag off of eBay, and while it had a tag on it, and I'll show you the tag, had a really nice metal tag. That's not the right tag though. And I can't figure out exactly what color my bag is so I can go in and buy a tag. So I asked about getting a tag for that. And then I also have a Coach Cassie in the petunia pink, I think was the color. It's the one with the heart strap. Love that bag, and I love that strap, is just so pretty. I didn't realize until it was too late for me to send it back that mine was missing the tag. And it came packaged new, so something happened at the factory, and of course nobody can help you. It's a weird color. We can't replace it. We don't know. Whatever, I'll buy a tag, but it's a very hard color to match. So I ended up talking with a girl named Allie, who is at the Ross Park Mall in Pittsburgh. She was fantastic. We emailed back and forth about 17 or 18 times, and when it was all done and said, I ended up with 2 really cool tags, and she even customized them for me. So here's the first one. It's just a plain solid brown, and I got this one for on the Willis, and on the back I had it engraved. I hope this shows up on camera okay. It's a crown and a bee and flow, so it's Queen Bee Flow. My sister and I are both really into the bee motif, and she's actually given talks at her garden club about bees, so she's really into bees. But I was excited to see that they had a bee one, and this was in the gold stamp, so I was really excited about that one. And then the other one is, I ended up going with white because I couldn't find anything in their pinks that I thought was going to match the petunia pink close enough. I was just leery. But what was really cool is they had lettering in a very nice shade of pink that matches it almost perfectly. I'm going to insert some photographs right here so you can see how well it matched. I was very, very impressed. So shout out to Allie. If you're ever at the Ross Park Mall store and you need some help, she's your girl. I'm so happy that she was able to help me out with that. She said she's an assistant manager, and she said because of the circumstances, they would make an exception since I'm a regular Coach customer. And I so appreciated that. And there was no extra charge. They charged me the regular $10 like they would if you were buying an extra tag while you were in store. So that was cool. One thing did go right this week though. I placed an order to Amazon for some really mundane stuff. When you say mundane, it's like, it can't get any more mundane than this. Check registers, you know, for keeping your records, and an air filter for one of our portable air cleaners. Wow. But I didn't have $35 worth, and I refused to pay shipping. I would rather buy something else that I can use or gift than pay, what is it, $6.99 is usually their flat rate shipping. It's not that hard to get to a $35 order, just adding 1 or 2. And there were 2 things I have been wanting for a while, and I decided to go for it. Many of you will recognize this. Yeah, I broke down and bought the dupe of the Coach flower. What I didn't realize until I got it is it's 2-sided, which I love. This is actually better to me than the actual Coach one because it's a single side. And nothing drives me crazier than to have a charm on your bag and it flips around and then you're not seeing anything. It's like, what's the point? The other one I got, and I have several of these already, but when I saw this color, I was like, ooh, I want to get that, is this gorgeous, this is like a really intense pink. And it's a dupe of the Coach Cherries charm. I have one just like this in red. I have one that's silver with the red, and then I have another silver one that's a lighter pink, which goes really well with some of my powder pink pieces and a couple other things I have. But this, I love this shade of pink. I think that'll also look nice with my bubble gum bag, so eventually maybe you'll get to see that on there. So, that's all my goodies. I think I'm over my frustration. Well, not really. I'm still mad at FedEx. Really mad at FedEx. I also wanted to say too that I sent a message to Dooney and Burke saying, you know, I think, you know, I'm due a refund here for my shipping because you guys didn't didn't do what you were supposed to do for the price. And I got kind of a rather short response for that. It's very disturbing to see the direction that customer service has gone with some of these companies. I can tell you what would have happened back when I was working in customer service if I had treated somebody like that. I'd have been out of a job. But it's just, I think we need to stand our ground with some of these companies and not let them trample us, because the more they do, the more they'll try to get away with. So I'd love to hear if you've had any bad experiences like this. I know there were a lot of people complaining about the Coach May 27th drop and not getting their stuff in a timely manner. And did you have any problems? You know, I know a lot of people ended up with stuff in asbestos bags that, I'm sorry, a handbag does not go in one of those. That should be in a box. You know, what I got, it's okay. I'm still not thrilled about it. I don't see the reason. To give you some idea, the 2 hang tags that I got came in a box with all kinds of packing. I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. So, anyhow, I hope you like this video. Sorry if I rambled a little bit here, but wanted to get some stuff off my chest and figured some story time is always good for a video. If you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, I'd be very appreciative. My numbers keep plugging away there, so I feel like I'm the little engine that could right now with my YouTube channel. So just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.